Hello and welcome back. I lost the original voice for this part as well, so I'm gonna have to fill in as best as I can, but thought it would be a bit weird if this last part was not included, so let's see how this goes. What are we doing here? We are fixing some trains. And okay, so it was about time I fixed that crossing and made another bridge. So let's see how I fix this. Okay, that may be a bit too tight, but looks like I am going with it. Okay, that's a bit weird. Oh, okay. Makes sense, I guess, because I think I would have been able to continue it instead of having all these cross railroads. What would you say? Yeah, I think I could have made a more straight track, but this works. So, how's everything looking? Looking at the score screen, having a bit difficult seeing this on my editing window, but I am in a third place, so that is okay. I will still get points for this round, even though I fucked up and lost first and second place, but yeah. So we have the what is that called? The budget, the expenses and that. I don't think I'm really paying attention to it at this point. I'm looking at an old town. Another player had tried to grow, but he didn't really understand how the game works. How the game worked, so he ended up growing 2 towns there without getting any score. I guess that's just how it is when you don't know this kind of game. When you don't read up on how to play it and just join and try, see if you can figure it out. I think I tried like that the first time I played. Back when, how would you pronounce it, Lokland, when those servers were up. Too bad they are not around anymore. They had had some interesting tweaks to the game, where they made trains much more expensive, so you would really need to think before doing a train line, and in most cases it would make more sense to do vehicles. So I liked that aspect to really bring back vehicles in a meaningful way, as it in the vanilla game doesn't really makes sense to use vehicles. As in road vehicles, of course. A train is still a vehicle. I guess it would be a vehicle. I don't know. So we're doing another train here. We're thinking about doing the one of the trains with a train in each side. Okay, we did that. And I guess the reason we did that is because this is a whole new line, so it is okay for us to use a train that's a bit more expensive and faster, because it will be able to get its max speed on most of the line, but if we had used a train like that on one of the other lines, like like have a new and an old train going from and to the same stations, then it would be then it would have to wait for the smaller trains, not the slower trains. So makes sense for us to do newer and faster trains on new lines. So here I guess we are trying to fix some. Didn't really see what we were doing. Is that I think that's trucks. Is that the mail trucks? I think so. Ah yes, because they were trying to get full load from the train station, and that's not something we liked. We want them to transfer from the city center to the train station, so we can get more mail to our growing city, because that city needs a lot of mail. So it's just a neat little trick to be able to pull more mail out of a city, to have cars driving around and getting full load. So we have the transfer and leave empty, and then we have full load, any load, I guess. I couldn't really see what it said on the window, sadly. Oh wow, this is gonna be long when I have to talk like this over the video for a whole video. Normally I only lose the voice recording for a few minutes, but this time I lost it for longer. So I guess if I manage to get some money, I should get some better recording equipment, because that is a pain to have to either scrap videos or talk over like this, but I guess it's good practice. So we are doing more, it's not buses, it is mail trucks. Like I said before, we need a lot of mail to our main city. Hopefully I set them up in the right way and I clone vehicles. Very neat little trick, which I have probably done in the other episodes as well. And how many do we have here? We have 4 mail trucks going to the station. That's fine, because we have made a station that is 4 long, so not too long, so that means it can fit 4 mail vehicles. So we don't really have any vehicles not in the station. I don't know if it makes any difference, because you would normally only need to load the front vehicle, but then I guess it would cut down on having to drive forward a little bit and stop and load, drive forward a little bit, stop and load. So another train station here. Are we going to change the end station for this? Okay, we have screwed up here. Let's see, why does this happen? This train wants to go in that direction, but it can't get a green light from the giant intersection out there. So we need to make room, or just send this train back to the station and the problem is solved. But guess we need a better solution than just sending that one back to the station. So I think we're gonna do that solution. I think we're just gonna get rid of the get rid of the signals after the station, because then they will only take the signals after the intersection into consideration. So that would mean that they would need a fully clean tracks before they can get out, I guess. Okay, we're doing a weird intersection there. That's fine. But what are we gonna do with that? Are we gonna send these trains down here to that station instead? This is quite a nice little city down here, and the fact that we have that city and a smaller city grown together like that, and well, what I'm trying to say is we're getting nice coverage down there, so that is a nice station. But still, what are we gonna do up here? I'm not really sure. We're looking at the stats again. We are still third. But we are not super far behind number 2, are we? It's hard to see the numbers. So I think he's 2,600 something, and we are 2,272 or something. I can't see the numbers properly. Okay, this train is... we set it to go up to the new station. And guess we're gonna set this train to that station as well. Oh, okay, so that town, I think that is our town. Yes, it is. We have our headquarter in that, so it makes sense for us to do that station. I was just for a moment thinking, why did we do that? But it makes sense, and now when we remove this, we let the city grow a little more, but I guess we shouldn't really, in hindsight, we shouldn't really let the city get this big, as in flat. We don't really want. We want to build tall and not big. I guess what we have done there is a little bit of both. But that's also fine. I guess it encourages growth. I hope. So, what are we doing now? We're gonna fix the problem we had up there, or are we just gonna hope it doesn't happen again? I am not really sure. And we are looking at the blue guy there. His setup is very efficient. I'm a bit distracted. I keep looking at my voice graphs to make sure I don't lose audio again. And you're sure, let's expand this one. Makes sense because the station down at the city below our city is a good one. So we should be able to put more trains in here, as we already have 3 trains going in there. It was kind of necessary. And are we gonna do anything to fix this more? Guess we're just trying to make it look a bit more pretty, but it's not really like it. It makes a big difference what we're doing there. It just looks more organized, more ordered, I guess. There, I don't think we can put many more in there. We missed one track we could have placed, but again, it doesn't really matter too much. It's not like they can't get through there if we have 4 trains. Did we have 3 trains? Why do we only have 2 stations down here if we have 3 trains on that? That's a bit weird. Maybe we just thought it didn't matter. And again, if we have set up the system properly, it wouldn't really matter because it's kind of like a closed system. It's only these 2 stations and the trains between those, so it wouldn't really matter if we have a train standing on the track waiting to get in. Here we're thinking, oh, we can maybe get more mail out of this small city. Let's squeeze all the mail out of the area that we can. So that is what we are doing there. And we are just reusing our depot here. It's just a small trip to the new station, so it's no big deal. We're gonna do another one. Yes, we did another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. And I think these are going up to the little city in the top there. So, what are we looking at now? Are we going to start doing the factory stuff? Probably. We are at least looking at the factories. No, the factory and the stations at the factory. So... is that a goods train? I think it's a goods train. And we're starting to have a lot of goods, so it made sense to copy that. So, what are we looking at? I think we are considering if we should transport crude oil into the refineries and then transport it as goods back to the city. But it doesn't really look very efficient, so I think we're going to consider other options at this point. We have a steel mill factory thing there. We have an iron mine there, and an iron mine there, and an iron mine there, so that is a real option, even though we are not really producing a lot of even though the mines are not really producing a lot of raw iron. And like a noob, I put the station wrong, so I just changed that and do another station at the mill. So, and here I'm thinking, oh god, why the hell did I put it like that? So instead I think I move it 1 square to the side, so I don't really have to bother with going around or under the forest. So why am I making a weird connection there? Because I'm an idiot. Oh well, it's fine really, but it doesn't really do much difference that I didn't just do it across from the station instead of bringing it down a little bit. But I guess straight lines are better than the crossed one. At least it looks better. It's like the graphics on the across ones are wrong. Like it's all stretched. It is all stretched and stuff. So that's also a thing to consider, I guess. To consider aesthetics in a game as old as this. But of course, I'm not using the original graphics either. I am using, think it's called 32 something bit something points per inch something to get a little bit better graphics where you can zoom in and not see only pixels, as in only big pixels. Of course, you only see pixels because everything on a computer screen is pixels. But yeah, you know what I mean. So, what am I doing now? Am I doing that train or what? Okay, I'm putting a depot, so I guess I'm making the line. Oh, I already made the line. Right. So, am I going to extend this? Am I going to bother with extending this? But then I looked at a farm and saw that maybe it would make sense to just connect that up to my existing lines. So now I'm thinking, oh, I should have aligned it to the other line. So that's what I'm doing there, and I'm considering using a bridge across, but I think I come to my senses pretty soon about that. Why did I do that? Why the hell did I put it like that? Ah, maybe because of the coverage. Right. So this makes very good sense. Keeping the see like that, I thought it would be better to just fill in the water there and make a land bridge instead of doing an actual bridge. What was I talking about before? Yeah, the split of keeping goods and incoming grain and livestock separate. I just think it's an ordered thing to do. Someone asked me in comments why I did that, and it just makes sense for me to do a system where the livestock and the grain won't have to wait for the goods, and the other way around. I guess with a big enough system, it wouldn't really matter, and if it was made properly. But I'm no train engineer, so I guess that would be a track switch engineer. I don't know. Maybe it has a more fancy name. But if I was that, I would probably have put it to the same, send it to the same station. Sometimes I need to think about what I'm saying, because I just think about it in Danish in my head, and then I just want to just do a straight translation and just say it in English, and sometimes it doesn't really make sense. Like if you in Danish say would it be a spanner, an adjustable spanner, then you would say a Swedish key. So it doesn't really work all the time to do a translation straight from Danish to English. I'm looking at my competitors here, and is the game over? No. Yeah, okay, the game is over. So we lost, but we did okay overall, I think. I'm no expert at this, so thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next episode.